So everybody ready to get right into it? We might as well. So the first thing I always like to think about is who's a leader, because this is all about leadership and it's so important. And I know that when I first think about leadership, I've always thought about the person who's in charge or the person that I always look up to, right? Who's an authority here? That's who I always think of as being a leader. And I just want to expand your thinking about leader because then later on, I think about for sure the CEO, the executive, the business owner, my boss, the manager. Those are all leaders, right? Not just me. I can't be a leader. I'm just Bob. Many years ago, I said that. Then I started thinking about leadership. It also includes people like parents and spouses and friends, and almost anybody is a leader because you're having other people, you're kind of helping other people and having other people follow you. And then the ultimate understanding of leadership, and this is really where a lot of what IPEC has taught me, is that everybody, you are a leader. You're the one who leads yourself in every action of every minute of every day. Everything you do, you make a decision to do that. You have to take responsibility for everything you do. And what I'm going to try and show you here is that you can make choices based on your energy level in every single moment of every day to decide how you want to show up to lead yourself and then ultimately lead others. And then I always like this quote, always love this one. No, not always, because I just learned it about 2 years ago from my good coach, Rich Litvin. If anybody knows Rich Litvin, he's the one who told us good leaders create followers, but great leaders create other leaders. And I didn't realize that. That was a hallmark for me in IBM. I was more concerned about everyone else who worked for me, if you will, um, that they did well and they succeeded. And if they did well and they succeeded and I was able to promote them, that's how I felt I was doing myself. My greatest leadership was to create other great leaders. I'm the one who always turned the org chart upside down. If I got into an organization and my name was on the top or close to the top, I always turned it upside down and came to work every day to work for all of those people to make them great leaders. And the thing that really makes you a great leader is to inspire. There's no way you're going to be able to be a great leader and create other great leaders without being inspiring yourself. And every single person has an opportunity to be inspiring. And we'll see in just a little while how this energy level or this energy that we talk about can really change you to becoming more inspiring. And I'm going to talk about energy just for one more second, because everybody's like scratches their head. What are we talking about energy? Electricity? Are we talking about something that I can't see that's in the universe and comes down from the stars or something like that? This is not what I'm talking about so much. As much as it is, everybody experiences energy. Did you ever walk into an organization and feel the energy in the organization? It's like, wow, this place is on fire. These people are all excited. They're all getting things done. It's very productive. The energy level, we say, is high. Did you ever go into an organization or into an office or anywhere where people are interacting and they're like angry and dull and not motivated? And we say, oh my gosh, the energy is terrible in that room, or the energy is terrible at that organization. Everybody is just so dull. That's the type of energy we're talking about. And that's the type of energy kind of scale I want you to start thinking about creating energy that is more expansive, positive, um, creative, productive, inspiring. When you start living at the higher levels of energy, and we'll talk about all the 7 levels in detail, when you start living at the higher levels of energy, you become very inspiring. And leadership is not about titles. That was another thing that I had to learn. It's not the CEO, it's not the executive, it's not the business owner. The title is really not as important when we come to leadership. It's all about relationships, how you relate to yourself and how you relate to others. And the way that you're relating to others, when you're being more anabolic, and we'll get to that in just a second, more open, more opportunity, more inspiring, the better leader you are. So with that, I always like to make this interactive. So this is my first question to everybody here. What are you looking for out of tonight's masterclass? And I'm going to ask, I'm really going to want to go around the room and ask everybody to at least state one thing that you're looking to for out of tonight's class. Why'd you show up? What is it that you wanted to get out of this? And I'm going to ask Andrea, Andrea, could you just keep a list of what everybody says? Because then at the end, I
Sure.
like to go through and make sure that we hit everybody's intention. So, Jack, you want to start? I see that you just unmuted, or you can start, Jack. What's your
Sure, I will.
tonight?
Well, I'm not, I don't want to sound like I'm buttering you up, Bob, but you always teach me something really, really interesting and important. And I didn't want to miss that.
Appreciate that. So I'll put that down as you want to learn something new.
Yes.
So if at the end of the night I come to you and you say, "Did you learn something new?" You're going to go, "Yes," and I met your intention. I love that.
Yes.
And you know what I love about that is the reason why I do these classes is I learn something new every time I do things like this.
Mhm.
So we're both here to learn. That's wonderful. And then Olga, I see you're next on the at least on my screen.
Mhm. Okay, there's a long story why I got in, but so what I'm looking for, because action, leadership, execution scares the hell out of me. Okay, that's why I'm here.
Again,
Yeah, very comfortable.
I can relate to that perfectly. Scares the hell out of you. I can remember the very first anytime I have to take action, I get scared. So you're looking for to be a little bit more fearless. Take fear out of the equation and actually start to execute. So I know we might meet your expectations tonight. That's good. And certainly if we continue to talk after this, I know how to work on fear because I've been through it all. Erica, I see you're next, if you don't mind. What was your intention for tonight? What are you looking to get out of this? You're on mute. I don't know. I can't hear you. Yay. Good.
You are correct. I was on mute. So I wanted to review the energy levels, and I love the way that you are able to break things down, because I would love to, do some education on energy levels and
Mhm.
just see the examples that you use to help me kind of break it down to those that, are new leaders or don't really, have, they haven't
I-
studied energy levels before.
I appreciate that very much. For everybody, Andrea and I went through the same coach training at IPEC, and so we're pretty familiar with this. And Andrea's looking to see if I get this right, is to see how to implement energy level or energy leadership into your clients and into your offerings as a coach. I love that. And we can talk offline about this too. We can go into more depth later on. We set up some time because I've helped many coaches over the years develop their own way of introducing and talking about energy leadership to people and corporations. So I'd be happy to do that. Let's see if we
Perfect.
help a little bit tonight on that. Lucy,
Okay.
welcome. Lucy, did we have you introduce yourself, Lucy?
No, she just joined.
I joined. Yeah, I had trouble getting on. So,
Well, I'm glad.
hi.
Sorry about that. I'm
Yeah,
glad you're here. Yeah, so just where are you in the world and what are you expecting to get out of tonight?
I'm in New York City, and I'm just interested. I like the combination of leadership and energy levels, and I just also am familiar with your work, having done your classes. So I wanted to hear more about it.
Excellent.
Uh,
I'm sure you'll hear a
yeah,
lot more about that.
I'm interested in both leadership and energy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
good. And
yeah.
Veselka,
Yes.
no, your intention for
Well,
tonight.
um, so many reasons. First of all, Olga couldn't say enough great things about you, Bob. Then number 7 is somehow is intertwined in my life. I was born in 1977. Star Wars came out in 77.
Whoa.
My name actually in Ukrainian means rainbow. And so the 7 colors of the rainbow somehow is always interesting. So it just, energy work has been part of my life for the last 15
Appreciate
years.
that. I love the numbers and the way you're playing with the numbers and understanding how they're living in your life and the energy. I'm already feeling the energy from you. I really do appreciate that. And I look forward to spending some more time with you. Thank you for being here tonight. Sadar, how about you? Oh, I think you're on mute also.
Sorry. I'm generally curious to learn about energy and leadership. one specific thing which occurred to me while looking at your slide here is, how do I influence negative energy? How do I create meaningful relationship when you have negative energy in your staff or in your environment?
Were you a plant? Did Andrea get to you beforehand to say, ask that question? Because it's exactly what it's about. We're going to talk about negative energy. It exists. We all have it. We exhibit it ourselves. We hear it from other people. And how do we react to it? What can we do differently? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. So that's great. Thank you. And Jasmine, I think you're the last one.
Hi. Yeah. To be honest, I haven't done much research about the topic. It's just that we had a great talk last Friday. And I think it's very interesting what you did with the meetup. So I'm just curious that what else you offer.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm glad for your curiosity because I love seeing you here. Thank you. So let's get going because we do have a lot to get through. And I'm going to kind of go quickly so we can get through just in an hour. But again, that doesn't mean that it's the end. I'm offering you a half hour to sit with me after this, go deeper into some of the topics specifically for you if we weren't able to cover everything for you. So the first thing that we learn about is catabolic energy or catabolic leadership and anabolic. And catabolic, these are biological terms. Catabolic is when in biology things are decaying or being destroyed or being run down. Same thing here in leadership. That's the negative energy that Siddhar was talking about. Negative energy is on the catabolic scale. Anabolic is where things are being more positive, more opportunity. You're seeing more opportunity. You're looking for something bigger than what you're perceiving at the very moment. You're looking for more opportunity. Those are positive energy. Those are ways of looking at things that are negative. Let's look for some other way to interpret what I'm seeing here. So a catabolic leader is somebody who manages instead of leads. They're also the one who delegates all the time. An anabolic leader is somebody who shares in the responsibility, shares not only the responsibility of getting things done, but not afraid to share their authority, if you will, and give other people authority and give them the chance to shine. They're also catabolic leaders also give information. I know how to do it. I'm going to tell you how to do it. Whereas more anabolic leadership is sharing information, not being afraid to let all of your data and all of the information that you have to the team or to everybody else. It's very inspiring when you share everything you know with all of your team. They look up to you better that way. Also, catabolic leaders are they're always constantly assessing themselves. Everything revolves around them. Any success is due to them. Any failure is due to you, actually. And they're always assessing themselves. Whereas an anabolic leader is really looking at all the people and looking at the 360-degree view of the world because it gives you more opportunity, more positivity. You getting the idea here? Catabolic leaders work in crisis mode as opposed to planning and assessing risks and being prepared for something that comes up in the future. Catabolic energy is one that's disconnected from emotions. Like, I really don't care. Just get the job done. I don't care what it means to you or how you feel about it. Just get the job done. But people who are anabolic leaders, more inspiring, somebody that people look up to, again, utilizes emotions, can actually really feel and connect with people at an emotional level and incorporate that in their leadership. That's really the higher levels of leadership. Catabolic leaders use their left brain, very analytical, but anabolic leaders use their whole brain thinking. They think and they see with all of their senses. They're not just what people are saying, but what they're feeling, the atmosphere, the way people are postured, the way people come to work, the way they feel, the way they dress, the way they address themselves, the way they address their work. Those people are taking all that information in to be able to lead and inspire other people. Any questions about catabolic and anabolic? I want to go into detail in every one of them, but who's got a question? Does everybody understand what catabolic versus anabolic leadership is? It's important to know this because the way that the 7 levels go, and you'll see this in the next chart, The catabolic energies are at the lower level, levels 1 and 2. The more anabolic energy we apply to ourselves or to the situation, you start to rise through the energy levels. So I want you to understand catabolic and anabolic leader. Questions, ask now if there's something. 2, 3, 4. Okay, no questions. We'll go on. So here are the 7 levels just at high level. And I love this framework because we all used all 7 levels. And as you can see, those that are level 1 are more catabolic. And as you're introducing more anabolic energy, more positive energy, you're able to access the leadership levels at all the way up to level 7. And each level increases with a little bit more anabolic energy, a lot less catabolic energy. And so we all know what the level 1 is. Well, I'm going to tell you, level 1 energy is victim energy. I am the victim. I lose, or as a leader, we all lose. Listen, this project is going nowhere. We're losers. Everybody is to blame, and that's level 1. Level 2 is where you're the fighter. You're going to really make things happen. You're going to win, and really the emphasis there is I win and you lose. I win at all costs. It's a little bit better than being victim. Because a victim, you really have no energy to do anything. You really feel like everything is at the effect of the world and there's just no reason for me to do anything. But to get out of level 1, you start to get a little bit of anabolic energy, if you will, where I'm going to win. No reason why I can't win. It's level 2. It's good, but you can't stay at level 2 very long because it can be very disruptive to everyone around you. So that's when we get to level 3. Let's add a little bit more anabolic energy. We're trying to be a little bit more optimistic and thinking more about other people, and you're the compromiser. You start to realize, wait, I can win. I don't have to stay at level 1 and feel like a victim all the time. I don't have to fight with everybody. I can win, and actually other people can win too at the same time. This is really a good place to be. This is the first level that really starts to tip towards anabolic energy, more anabolic energy than catabolic. It's the energy where you really want to start from, or most people live at level 3. They're usually vacillating between 1, 2, and 3. And if I'm working with people who are working at level 3, I'm working with them to stay out of level 1 or to move out of level 1 and into level 2 and then into level 3 more quickly. Then once we get them to establish a level 3, then we can start to add the energy level of the caregiver. Really, I'm more concerned as a caregiver that you win, not me. It's a really great energy to get you up to even being more anabolic and really giving more inspiration to others. And you're really looking for other people to win. It's really good, except after a while, you can get burnt out and you say, well, where's my win? I'm always concerned about everybody else's win. When do I win? And that's when you can either decide to go down to level 1, where, wait a second, everybody's winning and I'm not, I'm a loser. Or you can add a little bit more anabolic energy, a little bit more positivity, if you will, and become the optimist. Wait a second, we can both win. Not only, it's like level 3 where I win, maybe you win. No, we're going to both win. I'm going to make sure that you win also. I can do that. And I have no problem with you winning. I have no judgment against you winning. We can both win. The universe is large enough for all of us to win. Hi, Mindy, welcome. The universe is large enough for all of us to win. It's a great place for leadership, especially if you want to get into senior leadership or you want to increase your leadership skills with your staff or within your organization. Because now you're not only looking for your win, but your staff's win. You start to look for the company's win. And when the company starts seeing you as a person who starts to make sure everybody is winning, your career is going to skyrocket. After that, we can get into levels 6 and 7, which are really highly anabolic. And really 6 is the visionary. This is where I know everyone wins at all times. There's no such thing as losing. It's where we start to use even level 7, where I'm the creator, I'm the master. I realize that winning and losing are really all illusions. They don't mean anything anyway, so I can play any game I want. And at level 7, when you get to the using pure level 7 energy, you really can't execute at level 7 because everything is an illusion and you don't need to do anything. But it's at that level that you have pure access to all of the other levels, and you can use any one at any time to your advantage. So the thing that I want everybody to realize here is we all possess all 7 levels, even all the way up to level 7, the creator. And all of these levels are accessible to you at all times. So you can make a choice in any given moment, any given time of your life. You can switch up if you can recognize where you are. If you're at level 2 and you don't like being a fighter, you want to get to being a compromiser, you could add just a little bit more energy and move up to level 3. And you have all of these energy levels available to you all of the time. The other thing that's important to note here is that if you are at level 2, you can't get to level 5 until you've exhibited or gone through each one of the levels. So you have to go from fighter to compromiser to giver and then become the optimist. You can't jump, and you don't. Now, it doesn't mean you have to stay at each one of those intermediate levels for a long time. You can move through them quickly, but you will find yourself moving through all of these. Any questions now?
I have a couple of quick ones.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, so winning. What is winning here? I mean, to me, winning is always about making the company successful, right? Is that what it is, or does it change as we go through these levels?
Well, that's interesting. That is a win. Of course, the company wins. I want to make sure the company wins. Tell me, what level energy is that?
6.
Could be 6. Could be 6. What's your intention for the company to win?
I mean, that we all succeed and we make a difference out there.
So
right?
and you see how the difference is just your intention has a lot to do with where your energy level is. So here you're looking for everybody to succeed and everybody to win. That's level 6. But some people would say, look, I don't really care if I win. I want the company to win so that I just want the company to win. It could be level 4. Could be caregiver. If you're looking just, I want the company to win because I love it. IBM has got to be the best. I don't care whether I win in IBM or not. I want IBM to win. That's more caregiver. Make sense?
Yeah.
Good question. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure, go right ahead.
So when earlier today I was reading a PDF, there was a sentence, I'm just not sure which level, that at this and this particular level, it's got to be 5 or 6. Leader doesn't lead by action. He leads by, or she leads by example. I didn't get it. Either just
Well, that is level 6. You really are leading by example because people who are pure visionaries, people who are always creating a win, knowing that everyone is always winning, are very inspiring. And so therefore you can get much more done through other people than yourself. So at level 6, you're the pure visionary and you are working and you are getting things done without even knowing that you're doing them. It's not all about you doing things. It's about being inspiring and being a role model. Other people are looking up to you and want to do work with you, want to do work for you, and want to make sure that they succeed with you. You're not actually doing the work. At this point, I tell you, this is the toughest thing that people have when they're moving up the ladder. They feel like, oh my God, I'm responsible for all of these numbers and all of these sales or all of this. How am I going to do that? I'm just one person. You're responsible for the work to be done. You're not responsible to do the work. That's another way to look at number 6, at level 6. You're responsible for getting the work done, but you're not responsible for doing the work.
Okay,
so when I became, does that make sense, Olga?
That makes sense, yeah, because before that was rattling my mind. I couldn't, okay,
Right. Exactly. I can remember sitting there in my office and the person in the corner office, he would leave work before I did. I said, how can he have so much responsibility and I'm working so hard and I can't even get my job done? If I get to that level, there'll never be enough hours in the day. It's not the number of hours you're working. You're responsible to get the work done, but you don't do the work yourself. That's what that is. Great question. Anybody, any other questions before we move on? All right. So we're going to go into a little bit more detail just to make sure you understand this. Level one, and you have all of this in the PDF that Olga talked about. So please, let's use this time for questions if you do. Level one, the role is victim again, and the frame of reference is I lose or we're all going to lose. Leaders at this level are working in crisis mode. Everything is a problem. Boy, it's draining working for this person because they don't see anything but problems. They're always dealing with problems because that's the way they see things. Leaders with at this point have little to no passion because they are feeling like they're victims of everything. They're not motivated to get anything done, and they certainly are pretty angry at the organization because they can't achieve any of their goals or the organization's goals. And they are just going through the motions at work. They just show up, put my time in, there's nothing I can do, and then they go home more angry than they were at the beginning of the day. And they have little to no passion for their work. You can see how even leaders who show up this way, or even an individual person leading their life this way, is not very satisfying. We want to get to a point where you start to introduce a little bit of anger, frustration. I love anger and frustration because it is the opposite of level one. You're the fighter. You're finally going to win. I'm going to win, and I'm going to win. Everybody else is going to lose. It doesn't matter. It's okay to be there for a short period of time. This level has a sense of superiority because you think you're the only one who can get this thing done, or you're the only one that's going to serve. You being superior. It's not very inspiring. This leader puts their needs above everybody else's and really gives credit to anybody. You can see how this is a person who's getting things done, but they're not being inspiring and they're not creating other leaders. They're not even making the people around them feel good about the work that they're doing. Only they know how to get things done. And they insist that it gets done their way. There's only one way. We've all had leaders like this. We've all been, at least I have been, a boss like this, and it's a terrible thing. You can just see the energy around me. People are avoiding me because I'm always delegating work to them. I'm always criticizing the work that they do, or they're not doing it my way. It's really, you can get things done, but it's very short-term oriented, and it's the long-term people are just going to be running away from you. As a result, these leaders become across as judging their teams and being less, something, I can't see that word. Oh, and their teams are less capable. This is the kind of manager you don't want to work for because they make you feel horrible, terrible. And they cause great dissatisfaction, of course, with the people that work around them because no one can live up to their expectations. Any questions? Now,
Bob, I have
yeah,
a quick question. I'm sorry.
of course, Erica, yeah.
Would a leader at level 2 also have or display signs of micromanagement to their teams?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, you must do it my way. And these people are very successful. I have worked with an executive. He owns a company, very successful company. He makes sure everybody does it his way. They all hate him. No, they love him because he gets everything done, but it's difficult working with him or her.
Okay.
Because they're micromanaging all the way. But that's his success. And what happens there, even though the company is successful, because they all do it his way, you can only go so far. The company can't grow any bigger because he can't micromanage more than 20 people or 40 people. He can't grow a big company because he doesn't delegate. So yes, micromanagement is at this point, at this level, and you can see how this level is catabolic or destructive and or constricting because you just can't, you're only one person, you can't produce more. Any other questions before we move on? Great. Level 3, this is where we don't want to stay in level 2 very long. We want to get to the point where you're compromising with people around you to get your win, and you're okay with them winning too. You're not really invested in their winning, but if they're winning on the side, you're okay with it. And it's good to work with people like this because they are looking to make compromises. I'll do something for you if you do something for me. This is the way most people get things done at work. And it's a pretty good, it's certainly much better than 1 and 2. If you find yourself to be at level 1 and 2, get yourself to level 3 as quickly as possible. It's certainly more productive and more positive, as you can see. If you're looking for a win and you're always winning, and you really don't mind if I'm winning on the side, then I don't mind working with you because I don't feel like there's jealousy or greed or, backstabbing or anything of that sort, because you don't mind that I'm winning. But this one, the thing here too is good that these kind of leaders are always winning. So they are good at managing other people, and they make sure that everyone else wins, or that the entire team wins, because that's how they look at themselves. I'm winning if my team is winning, and they win. And they look for solutions that have an attitude of success. So here's where we're looking for wins in multiple places, not only not looking for other people to win, but allowing other people to win, because we know that success is what's needed in order for everyone to grow. Leading at this level, there has, at level 3, has less negative emotion. As you can see, level 1 is very negative. Everything is against me. I can't do anything. Level 2, I'm fighting. Level 3, there's much less negative emotion. There may still be some, but it's much less. And when crisis occurs, they lead to resolve problems, not looking to blame. Many times at level 2, you're blaming somebody else. If you start to use the energy of come on guys, let's figure out what the problem is here without pointing fingers at everybody else. That's using just a little bit more catabolic energy to get you and your organization out of level 2 and into level 3. Any questions here?
Sorry, I do have. So is a
Yes.
compromiser is a people pleaser? Or that's just what I'm seeing?
I'm sorry, say that again, something about
Is a
people.
compromiser a people pleaser?
A little bit of people pleasing. Not a lot, but a little bit of people pleasing. Yes, you could be losing people pleasing here because you want, well, because towards the, there's an overlap on these energy levels. So the more comfortable you are at level 3, you start to please other people, and that's how you get into level 4, which is caregiver. But let me make sure what are you thinking of when you're saying people pleaser here? What stands out for you?
Actually, a good question. I know exactly. Just trying to people pleaser would be looking to please others at your own expense. Here
Yeah,
goes. Is
yeah.
it like down? Okay.
Yeah, that is you. That can be very negative, right? It's not very productive. You're going to feel left out, and you're going to please other people. You're going to look like you are helping other people, and you're going to look like you are concerned with everybody else. But it's because you're putting yourself down, as well as promoting them. It's not a good place to come from, people pleasing. It's a whole nother problem. I do work with people who are people pleasers and how difficult it is. And sometimes it's guised in the in level 4, I'm really caring about everybody else. But really what you're doing is you're pleasing, you're not setting boundaries, and it's not sustainable. Does that help?
Got it. Yeah, I sense the difference.
Okay. Any other questions? So it's a good segue, because level 4 is about the caregiver. I want to make sure you win. And I want to make sure that you understand that you don't have to be a people pleaser to make sure that other people win. You can still have your boundaries, but your concern here is mostly that other people are winning around you. And this allows you to connect easily with people. This is what's a little bit different about people pleasers, because people who are at level 4, caregivers, typically we think about them as being nurses and teachers and civil servants, people who are making sure that everybody else is winning so that the society is doing well. They still have boundaries, and they're not feeling drained as much as a people pleaser, because they're really truly they get satisfaction out of everybody else winning, and they're deeply concerned about how their actions will affect the company and their employees. So they really are coming from a very caring perspective, and they are loyal and will always go to bat for their teams. You know that person who, no matter what your team is doing, they will always make you feel good. They will always make you look good in front of everybody else. Very much more inspiring. And when leading from level 4 energy, it's easy to engage others because you're not so worried with yourself. And when you're engaging more people, that's when you're starting to become more of an influential and inspiring leader. It's really going up the ladder. And level 4 is that switch from being really concerned about yourself, where you have that at level 1, 2, and 3. Level 4, you really have to use that energy. I care more about other people. The thing we worry about here is that where is your win? And where is the company not winning because you are also not winning? You're only concerned about everybody else winning, but you as an individual can contribute to this organization more than just making sure that everybody else is winning. And so that's where we start to use level 5. It's the opportunist. It's where, wait a second, we can both win. I can make sure and guarantee that everybody else wins, but I'm also going to win too. And my win is not only good for me, it's good for the organization, it's good for my staff, it's good for the whole company. Yo, go ahead. Does somebody have a question? I heard a little noise. You know, I like when people just jump right in, so I will always try and recognize that.
Yeah.
And so we expect greatness from others, and they expect greatness from themselves, and they seek greatness in others. That's part of that whole win-win and really being inspiring for the entire organization. Because I expect excellence from myself, and I really seek it in you. I help you find excellence so that we all win. Because the organization and I'm not going to win, and we're all not going to win until we are both winning at the same time. And they always display positive attitudes, and they have a high performance. These are high performance leaders and are excellent team players because they're always looking for everybody else to win. You all see this in sports too, when, especially in baseball, somebody will become captain because they're absolutely great at the position that they're working on that team, but they also make sure that every other single person is playing to their maximum. And they create a sense of being able to accomplish almost everything, which is very inspiring. And they instill confidence in everyone else by showing confidence themselves. This is really probably the best, well, not the best, but it certainly is very effective, very highly productive level of energy to experience and to aspire to, or to use. Again, we have all of this. It's just a matter of how much we're using it, how often we're using it every day. But this is really very inspiring. Any questions on that? Do you see how it is?
Yeah, it's inspiring. But the only problem is it is just the two people who want to win, right? It might be at a compromise to the rest of the organization or the people who are losing through this. So and HR and finance might say, oh, we got to let go of people because we need to have better cash flow, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that's a win and a good synergy there, but it might not be a good win and synergy for the other parties. So
Great.
and that's what I kind of see this a lot. I see a lot of opportunists in a good sense, but it does disturb me that these, what I call, you create these small these groups, right? And that kind of doesn't help with the overall organization's goal.
Good, very good observation and great insight. So there's two things that I see here. One, it could be very limiting. It's just two people that are really going to win. I'm going to make sure that I win and you win. That's not really level 5 leadership. It's really where I'm winning and everybody else is winning also. Or you want to move in that direction, which is more like level 6, rather than going back. I'm going to make sure, let's just make sure the two of us win. I really am looking at the opportunity for everybody to win. And so you really, at a level 5, you are looking for the win in everyone else that you are engaging and working.
Okay.
There's a little bit of a secret in level 5 also, is that I will play and make sure that I win and you win, but as soon as one of us is not winning, I'm willing to let go. I'm not attached any longer. Because if you are attached, then you're going to go back down to level 3 where you're going to compromise with somebody. and you're going to compromise yourself and or the organization because you're trying to, you go back to being level 3, the compromiser, if you are feeling like you're not winning. When you are really at level 5 and you don't want to go back down to level 3, you don't want to be a compromiser, that's when you have to start using more level 6 energy, where you realize everything is an opportunity. So even if I get laid off,
Mhm.
and I know it's good for the company wins, I will also win. One thing I was always told is I will always win. And if I'm laid off, it's just another opportunity for me to find a better job, do something more that I wanted to do, take time off to write that book that I wanted to do. There's an opportunity in everything. So if you find yourself in a situation where you are no longer feeling like you're winning, you want to apply level 6 energy, which says, if I'm not winning here any longer, I'm willing to disengage because I'm using level 6 energy, and allows me to the freedom to not compromise and stay in a situation that I don't like. Does that make sense, or did that get confusing for everybody? If anybody doesn't understand what I'm saying there, let me know.
Bob, I have
Go
just
ahead.
a comment on level 5, because being a leader, I think I exhibited a lot of level 5. And I think it's not just a win-win. So it's kind of like a triple or plus win, right? Because if I'm winning, my team is winning, by default, the organization should be winning. The organization and potential entities associated are all winning. And that's how I see this level.
Good point. Yes, it is. And what you go with the plus is you're moving more into the level 6 where everybody wins. I'm going to move there because we only
Correct.
have a few minutes. I just saw that. At level 6, you're the visionary. Everyone wins, and everyone can win. And there's always a place for a win. And leaders at this level, what we talked about before, are role models. So I like the 5, which is win-win plus. So I'm going to win. My team's going to win, which really means that the company's going to win, which really is like everyone is winning, which you're using there. Erica brings in just that little bit more level 6 energy, a little bit more anabolic energy, which gets you into level 6 thinking. Visionary, wow, everyone is winning. They're looked up to by their organization for the wisdom and kindness, and they lead more by example than action. We talked about that before. People at this level, or when you're really working at the 5 plus, I love that, you really, I mean, you're a shining example, and people see it because that word gets around the corporation, that word gets around your team, that you're really not interested just in yourself or just your team. You really are working for the entire whole and the entire whole organization to win. And the more level 6 energy you put into it, the more you're going to get rewarded by your organization. In my particular instance, when I started being more level 6 is when my promotions got more, because they knew that I can handle more responsibility without taking things personally, learning how to make sure we solve problems for everybody, and that the entire organization is winning. The thing that we have to be careful here is at this level, we take risks because there is no such thing as losing, or losing is just a lesson here. It's something for me to learn. So even if I do lose my job or a project fails, that's okay, because it's something for me to learn from. Have to be careful I don't take too many risks. And then, like I said, level 7 is where you're the creator. The frame of reference here is winning and losing are all illusions. And really, no one leads from this level because there's no need to lead, because there's no need for action when you're experiencing level 7. People access level 7 and they have access to pure wisdom. And having the pure wisdom is really the ultimate in knowing what opportunities there are. So if you're able to access level 7 and get to a point where you realize you are the creator and you can do anything in this world and you can use any one of the levels, and you access pure wisdom, from pure wisdom, which we also think about as intuition, when you're inspired by your intuition, that's where you can start to do things that have never been done before in the world, because your unique intuition, the wisdom that you seek or you get at level 7, you can bring into the world by using all the other 6 levels. But no action needs to be taken here at level 7, and all actions in the 3D world occur at levels 1 through 7. Does that make sense? So I know we're running up against time. Sorry that this took so long. It is in depth. You all got this too, a real life example. I love this too, because it says that, let's say you're the manager and somebody asks you for a raise and you say no, with no further explanation. And then based on each one of their energy levels, the person who received the no, they're going to see this differently. So I'll just go quickly and say at level 1, I'm going to feel like a victim. I didn't deserve the raise anyway. And therefore it's hopeless and I'm never going to get a raise because I don't deserve it. That's a victim. That's level 1. Or you can go all the way up to level, well, you can start to level 2. That was where you conflict. You're selfish. Wait a second. That you're an inconsiderate, you're selfish and you're an inconsiderate jerk. And they blame you. They blame the manager for them not getting a raise. Level 3, compromise. I don't like that, but I have to live with it. And I'm sure I would have gotten a raise if I did something better or worked harder. Level 4, oh my goodness, the company must not be doing great. If they can't give me a raise, then the company's in trouble here. I wonder what I can do to help the company. That's the caregiver. And then reconciliation at 5. Wait, I can see how things are. I'm sure that I can create other opportunities or other ways for me, not only to help the company, but also if I do help the company, maybe I'm going to get a raise then, or maybe even a better raise because I've really increased the win here. Or level 6, I feel great for being here. The raise will come when we can afford it, and there's really no negative or positive direct impact on me because I'm fine with where I am. The raise would be nice, but I don't really need it. And the creation here is nothing actually occurred on the quantum level. There is no time, no past, no present. The raise doesn't mean anything because it's just something very temporal anyway. So with that, I do want to, I'll ask now, do we have any questions? I'll stay a few more minutes. No questions? Do we kind of get to everybody? Let me just see if there's anybody whose intention we did not meet yet. Let me know. And who would like to sign up right now for another 30 minutes with me to go deeper with you?
Sadar.
What's that?
Yeah.
Excellent. Sadar, do you want to set up a time right now? Andrea will
Yep.
find my calendar and put it on our calendar.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
sure. I can do it.
Great. Who else would like to do that? We'll stay on until we have everybody here. And if you feel comfortable doing that, I'd love to get you scheduled now because I really would love to do this in the very, very near future. Tomorrow.
Lucy wants to also schedule a 30-minute
Lucy?
call, but she can do it
Terrific.
tonight. So just for you to know, it's not tonight.
Oh, I
It
can't
doesn't
do
have to be
tonight.
tonight.
Yeah, because I have a few other people I have to see tonight myself who asked to be here, not for this, but for something else. But I
All
will
right.
see you.
I will write to you on private so you can give me your email and your phone number, and I will schedule the call for you.
Excellent. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see everybody. There's everybody. Thank you. Anybody else want to schedule time right now? You can. Otherwise, you will always have the link. We're going to be sending out the follow-up to this with the recording, and also a link to schedule time with me for a half hour to discuss this, particularly if there's something else. And if not, even if you just want to say hello and spend some time with me, I would love that. Good. And if there's no questions, how about immediate feedback? Since this is the first one, and I am always looking as opportunities to do better, and I don't take things personally, you can always give me feedback for making improvements because I want you to win. This is not about me winning. I know I did a lot of talking tonight. I'm going to try and change that up the next time because this is not about me. It's about you winning. Yeah, Vasilka.
Yeah, you got it. So if we were to replace the word win as what would be a more appropriate one?
What are you thinking that you would replace the word win in this?
Yeah, because winning, when we get to 6 and 7, winning disappears. It's almost,
Love that.
winning implies losing.
I love that. So you know what I would do? For me, now that you made me think about it, the word is opportunity. Even at level 1, I'm looking for more opportunity than what I have right now. And whenever I'm looking for more opportunity, that's when I'm moving up the levels. And until you get to level 7 is when there's no opportunity because it doesn't exist. I don't need an opportunity at level 7. But even at level 6, I need opportunity. I need to tap into intuition and greater wisdom to bring that into the world. That's an opportunity to bring into the world what's never been here before. So I like the word opportunity instead of win. What about you? What do you think about opportunity? And can you think of another word besides win or opportunity?
Win this is in the past. Winning, losing is in the past.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it sounds like I hear you're Olga's friend, and so I know Olga and I have had many discussions like this, and I can see where you're going with this, and we can continue that. But for most people in the world, they are living more at levels one to three. People who come to me and they really want to get into a higher level of leadership, and I'm trying to just get them to level 5. And then I'll introduce where they can get to level 6 and 7 so that they can experience life better. And I'm good at that. I do get people to live at level 6 and 7. And that's where people who work with me do things like sell their house or put it on the market, not on the market, they rent it and go travel the world. Or they end up going to the school that they thought they could never get into because it's an opportunity that they never thought that they could see. I give them at least the opportunity, at least the advantage of visioning it, living it, taking the risk, and doing things that they've never done before. I love working with people to get them from level 3 to level 5, and then when they're there, to get them into level 7 and experience level 7 more. Like I said, we all have access to level 7. When we experience it more opportunity in your life, better experience of life comes. Great. Great insight. What else? Mindy, I see you there. I'm not going to, make you come in, but I haven't seen you in such a long time. We go back a long time.
You
Mindy
can
was,
come in. I'm here.
okay, great, good. Yeah, I
It's just
see.
that my wife is making noises and sounds because she's getting ready to go to sleep because she's going to work. So I was just trying to keep it quiet so you didn't get distracted sounds.
Appreciate that.
But I
But
read all your 4 sheets of paper and I read everything that you were going through. So,
yeah, I
and I,
think that, yeah, go ahead.
no, go. Hold on 1 second. One second. I have to say goodnight.
I'll take that as a little bit of feedback that the amount of information we gave was good because you got to read it beforehand and understand what we're talking about. Give you a
Absolutely.
level setting. So I like that because the more I give, I'm a giver also.
You're a giver. I love receiving. I love giving. It's all beautiful. But no,
Exactly.
I enjoyed what you were talking about. And I mean, I know where I am in that leadership scale as well. So I liked reading it and I saw where I belonged and I understood where you were going with the conversation. So I was with you. I really
That's
was.
cool. That's really cool. I appreciate it. And you're a lot more advanced than I don't know if you've seen this before, but I remember when I first went to IPAC in the very first training session that I was in, and they started talking about 7 levels of energy. I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, no, I actually have heard about my energy level. Yeah, and about spiritual. Yeah, I've delved in these dungeons.
But isn't it's a framework that we can work with? Because then
Absolutely.
I can see where I am almost all the time, and then try and move in which direction I want to go in with this
I mean, for me,
framework. I love
frustration
that.
was knowing what level I was and knowing what lower level my management was. And the fact that I was smarter and brighter than some of my supervisors and bosses, I understood that was their issue and I didn't let it be mine, but I understood that what my limitations were and mine wasn't coming from me, but from their lack of leadership in the
And because
scale.
you can recognize this, you're perceptive,
Absolutely.
and you can see it, and you can use it to your advantage. I love that.
I did.
One of the things, yeah, I know you did, and it's one of the things I love is when people, use manipulate the world to their advantage. I say that, and people are like, "What? Manipulate the world to my advantage?" And that's what we do.
It's keeping me balanced and manipulating the world in such a way that I'm still who I am. I'm still grounded. I'm still focused. I'm
Yes,
still at the level of leadership I need to be, not
exactly.
letting people bring me down because of their issues. It's what you're talking about. You are
Right.
manipulating and balancing all that.
And
Absolutely.
when I say that too, and when you just talk about that, it puts you into control. And that's
Absolutely.
what, and as a coach, I make sure that all my clients are in control of their life. They take responsibility for their life, and they are the ones who are going to experience life much better. The other thing I want to say about energy level, I completely forgot about this. There is an assessment that goes
Mhm.
along with this program. And you can take an assessment, it's about an hour. You
Yeah.
answer the questions on your own. I get the feedback, and what comes back are these bars on levels 1 through 7, and they show you how much energy you're using on a typical day.
Ooh.
Isn't that cool? I love it. Not only that, but it also shows you the energy levels that you're using under stress. And it's
Okay, if you send
amazing.
this to me, I will take the time and fill it out if you're willing to give
I
me an
will, I
awesome.
will, it takes a lot of my time, so it is kind of
Oh,
costly. I
okay.
mean, I'll put that in the, I know, if you want to pay for it, you can. I can't do it for,
No,
I have to pay for the exam myself.
then I don't want
And
us
then I
doing.
have to, and then it's my time, but it's extremely useful because
I bet you.
it gives you real feedback, and
I got that.
executives love this. Everybody loves this. It gets real good feedback right there. And then we can talk about it in a
I got.
debrief session, talk about where you are and what energy levels you're using most of the time, and what can I do to coach you to get you to use it differently.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I love doing it.
I'm still unemployed, but how much is this lovely cause? Is it thousands, hundreds?
It's currently my, I mean, every coach does it on their own.
I care about
Currently,
you.
it's $1,200, twelve
I
hundred
think.
dollars.
See,
It's an hour for you. It's an hour and a half for me to do the debrief on my own, and then
I
we'll
got.
spend an hour and a half together. So you're getting about six
I hear you.
hours of value here, but
What I'm
more
thinking.
importantly, you're knowing exactly where you are,
Mm-hmm.
and then the hour, an hour and a half with me to examine where you are and what you want to do to move forward. And most of the time, most people can do this on their own.
I got that.
Sometimes they need a coach, and they'll talk to me about it.
I hear that. I bet
Thank you
you
for bringing
like
that up.
I could have a quote a session and you would already know my numbers without me taking that 1 hour test. But that's a whole nother story.
I'm not that good, but yes, I could use. Some people
Oh,
could do that.
you'd be close. I have
Erica,
faith.
I see Erica's hand up like this electronic
Okay,
hand. You
Erica.
still trying to say something, Erica?
She
No, no,
wants
no.
that
I was
picture.
I was laughing.
Well,
Laughter
yeah,
is a
right?
good thing.
Because Erica does the same thing. She gives the assessments also. So
Ah,
if
And they
anybody,
do take quite a bit of time.
they
I
do.
know
So
I have done assessments, given them, analyzed them. Like I've done a whole bunch. I have a human resource background and all that stuff. So I've done a whole bunch of let's just say employee productivity analysis
Yeah,
and
it's
state of
very
mind.
similar. Very similar
Yeah,
to
no,
that.
it's all good.
And the other thing about the ELI, we learned this, but I just was in another IPEC kind of free class today. There's a 360, or you can do it for an organization. I can do it for a person one-on-one, but we can give an ELI, it's called the Energy Leadership Index, this assessment, to a whole organization and kind of give the organization, find out what level the organization is at. So it gives the CEO temperature check on what energy level their organization is. Are they all at level 1 where they've just given up and they have no motivation? Or do you have a whole bunch of opportunists that are taking big risks and you're losing money? That kind of thing.
Google this. What's the name of this test? Energy what?
It's the Energy Leadership Index,
Okay,
ELI. Look up IPEC,
I got it. Energy Leadership Index.
IPEC,
I was being nosy.
on the IPEC website.
I
They
see it.
And maybe Andrea, I never even thought about it, but I put it in the email, a link
Yeah.
to the index and what it's all about. I think,
Hi, Eric.
yeah, I'm not sure I have it on the website. Cool. Well,
Just
with
being
that, thank you all for staying a few extra minutes. One of the things that I do when I have a group like this and everybody stayed on for a little while, I will go off And I will just, I will stay on, but I will put it on mute and I'll go off camera. And this is the time, like if we were in a meetup group or if we were in a group in a conference room, this is when everybody would be picking up their coats and going out to the elevator and then talking to each other. So I'm going to say goodbye. Andrea, you're in charge here though. You can stop the recording.